Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Hello again. Welcome again. Here we go again. So today, metabolic syndrome complex, BS. No, I've softened those particular titles these days to fallacy. Metabolic syndrome complex is a fallacy. I reference it often because that's all we got to go on. Because we have the components of metabolic syndrome complex at play, we need to reference it in that way, otherwise we're just speaking different languages. But it is BS, okay? It is a fallacy. The components of the obesity, especially waist obesity, the dyslipidemia, the bad cholesterol complex. Once I forgot what the bad cholesterol was, the triglycerides. I couldn't think of the name, but there you go. It just came to me this time. The insulin levels, the high blood pressure. Was it? Was that it? I'm sure there was another component. No. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Okay. So the diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and the obesity. So, I've already BS'd many times the obesity, the failed theory, the failed, in front of our eyes, people exercise and eat less. Eat less, move more, people. I've already poo-pooed that, where it's all about micronutrient deficiencies. It's all, we need all those 90 declared essential micronutrients, but particularly chromium, vanadium, zinc are markers of obesity if you're deficient in those minerals, but you need the others to make it work. So I've poo-pooed the obesity, I've poo-pooed the cholesterol at least a couple of times, at least a couple of dedicated episodes on cholesterol. We don't even understand cholesterol. And there's this new thing, lean mass hyperresponder with LDLs of over 200 using the US metric. So we got those fallacies in play. I've poo-pooed the whole blood pressure complex. Could be kidney issues, a deficiency in magnesium and calcium especially, which accounts for the whole blood pressure complex, high blood pressure especially. And what's the fourth one? The diabetes, which is often linked to obesity, but they can all happen at once. We need at least 3 or 4 of the components to have metabolic syndrome complex. But all those factors coexist. You could also be quite slender and have bad cholesterol, blood pressure issues, and bad insulin numbers. It's not the blood sugar numbers that makes us in that disease state of having type 2 diabetes. The high blood sugars, those scary numbers, are manifestation of the disease. Insulin resistance, you need chromium and vanadium to account for diabetes, and you can see how chromium vanadium also relates to obesities, because we need those minerals, and together with calcium and the magnesium into the mix, we can account for metabolic syndrome in one foul swoop of 4 or 5 minerals alone. But we need the 60 minerals. We need those 60 minerals to make everything else work. The other minerals that we require that we probably need some of the outliers, molybdenum and aluminium and all those to help the potassium and the magnesium work and the calcium work. We don't know the relationships because, guess what? Nobody's going to fund that sort of research because it's not sexy enough. But we already know that our soils are depleted of the minerals, and that's what's causing all our chronic disease issues. So what do we do? Nothing. As an institution, as a nation, as a health sector, they're too busy blaming your genetics. Once if they blame your genes, oh, what's your family history? Oh, there's no history. Then they start to, it's your choices. It's your lifestyle choices. Well, I move more, I eat less. I eat Mediterranean diet. Amalgam fillings. How about your mold in your house? And then we get into the environmental exposures. No, environmental exposure and lifestyle probably makes up 10%-ish once you got everything else sorted, okay? But you see how we start to blame, and when we don't have any more excuses, you need to take things into your own hands. You need to do supplementing these days because our food supply chain is stuffed because of the soils complex issue. And the best way to do it, in my not so humble opinion, is the Health 44. What's the Health 44? Well, health happens when you do the 44, the first 4 of the 44. See how it's now off the tip of the tongue easy for me. The first 4 of the 44 is taking away 90+% of the supermarket. 4 categories of food gone. The glutens are out, oils, sugars, nitrates, nitrites out. There are nuances in there, but I need to at least have that in there for the one-off listeners because I've only got 2.2 regular listeners and watchers, by the way. So, and the second 4 of the 44 is you bring in the supplements. The 90 declared essential micronutrients, the 4 categories, the next 4 of the 44, second 4 of the 44, the 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids that makes up those 90 declared essential micronutrients. In a short time, if you're 40 plus, give yourself at least 90 days. It's not sudden. It was fairly sudden for me. Give yourself 90 days and your health will be improved. And if you're 40 plus, even 50 plus, it'll probably take years. Well, let's go for 1 year that you'll think, yes, I'm staying on this. I certainly stayed on it because in the first 9 months, I nearly halved my body weight. Sorry if the mic picked that up too good. So give yourself 18 months, and my everything else, all the little nuances that weren't quite right, pretty much sorted themselves out. 12, 15 months, 18 months. I will not have any issues until my pine box eventually opens up for me. So if you are a sufferer of metabolic syndrome complex and straight away you're saying, I've got a family history, the issue there is your family has the same rate of gluten sensitivity, the same diet, the same crappy fixation on fruit and vegetables, too much fruit, too much sugar, too much oils. You don't like your meat underdone, so you make it well done. If all those components fit somewhere in your family line, that's why you may have those conditions. But I've kicked that. I now move more, eat less. The gym rats, the marathon runners, the aerobics people. I've littered my whole podcast series with all the examples of former athletes, former celebrities. What's some of the recent ones? Gene Simmons recently died age 76, the little bubbly aerobics type guy, eat less, move more, do aerobics, follow my plan. Dead, age 76. Even 10 years ago, I recall seeing him, and he was looking a bit podgy. So, not a lifelong good, if that's an actual thing. It's not. Eat less, move more. Of course, it works in the also in a lab rat mouse, but you're doing it by force, and you're going into further micronutrient deficiency issues, and you'll die before your time. That's a quick example. 76, that's a good age. Yeah, it's a good age compared to age 40 back at the turn of the 20th century. Never mind, in 1850, half century before that, we had life expectancy of 80. So, what's someone that's probably still living? Fonda, Jane Fonda. She's probably approaching 90. The whole aerobics craze of the 80s and 90s, and I don't think she was pre-80s, but anyway, Revlon. She was in those Revlon commercials where she nearly fell on her face after punching a balloon. She was sort of 80 at that point, and yes, she's done a good innings at almost being 90, but she should be living 120. She's underdone as well. There hasn't been a single pro athlete, Olympian that's lived past the age of 100, I don't think. So that's telling you something. Okay. The blood pressure people. Understand the micronutrients. Calcium, magnesium, the constriction and the relaxing. Calcium is the constriction of the blood vessels. The release is the magnesium. You need cell energy and all the other micronutrients to help that along. I've even done an episode where we think that the blood pumps blood. That's pretty asinine of a thought. Blood vessels and veins constrict. It's like a snake weaving up the road. That's how blood gets around the body. You can't expect a pint of blood, pretty much a pint of blood in your heart, to go whoosh, whoosh once a second. More than once a second if your heart rate is 80. But our whole body has 6 litres of blood, the average person. So how can that pint squirt all that in 1 second? Never mind that. It's got to go into the little tiny blood vessels, pick up all the waste, deliver the oxygen, and go the other way. How do you explain going the other way with 1 pump of blood? Come on. So we should stop with that BS as well. The heart is more of like it stops the blood. It just controls the blood in its cycle. Just slow down. Yep, go. That sort of thing. No, it's more like a valve, not a pump. Just because it goes doof, doof, it's not a pump. It's not a pump. How did that get in there? Anyway, that got in there. The scary numbers with the insulin and the blood sugar levels explained by micronutrients. I'm not going to go down the my own effort rabbit hole to give people all this information and then still get nothing. are still people saying you're full of shit. All I have is to compare notes with the gurus of today. Let's compare notes in 30 years, 50 years, whatever. And then let's do a collaborative paper, or these days, a collaborative social media post or video. How would you be being a PhD and studying something for 40 years and then proving yourself wrong? There goes your credibility and pay packet. So blood pressure, yeah, diabetes, cholesterol, it's not understood. It's not understood by a long way. We need to intake cholesterol, not avoid it. If you're on statins, just get off it. Just get off it. It's not doing anything. And it's not even a drug, I don't think, where you need to wean yourself off. Just get off the bloody thing. The vegan that has oil, eats donuts, and eats plenty of fruit and veg, they got more chance of those scary cholesterol numbers than the meat eater. And yes, the meat eaters are correlated to high cholesterol, that sort of thing. They overdo their meat. They have a lot of oil as part of their meat. If they soak it in the oil, oh, but it's good. No, it's not. It oxidizes, trans fats, acrylamides, heterocyclic amines, and in the meat itself, the glycation. It's not a good state. Our health understanding is not in a good state at all. It's not even in its infancy of understanding. Back where physics was 2,000 years ago. There might be better what I advocate and push here, but what the mainstream thinks on metabolic syndrome, the mainstream thought that 30 grams of aspirin at one time was a good dose. The mainstream also thought frontal lobotomies were good to manage those difficult people. The mainstream also thought that bleeding people in managing disease was a good thing. Oh, but we've let it, what? So we're not also, everything we're doing now is correct? Look at the food pyramid. Look at our flip in fats, necessity or importance, methodology and knowledge. I think I've made my point. So I'm just going to leave that there. If you feel like this is full of shit, I did mark this as not explicit, but it's not in this day and age. So compare notes. Let's compare notes in 30 years. But that's all I got. So that's all I will choose to give. I can give more, but it'll be a lot of junk minutes. So that's all for now. Hopefully until the next time. Bye-bye.